वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीड़ पराई जाने रे।
वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीड़ पराई जाने रे।
वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीड़ पराई जाने रे। पर दुखी उपकार करे तो ये,
पर दुखे उपकार करे तो ये मन अभिमान ना आने रे। वैष्णव जन तो सकल लोक मां सहुने वंदे।
सकल लोक मां सहुने वंदे।
निंदा न करे केनी रे।
वाच काच मन निश्चल राखे। धन धन जननी तेरी रे। वैष्णव जन तो,
वैष्णव जन तो समदृष्टि ने तृष्णा त्यागी।
समदृष्टि ने तृष्णा त्यागी।
पर स्त्री जेने मात रे। जिह्वा थकी असत्य न बोले।
जिह्वा थकी असत्य न बोले।
पर धन न झाले हाथ रे। वैष्णव जन तो
मोह माया व्यापी नहीं जेने। दृढ़ वैराग्य जिना मन मारे।
मोह माया व्यापे नहीं जेने। दृढ़ वैराग्य जेना मन मारे। राम नाम शु ताली रे लागे।
राम नाम शु ताली रे लागे। सकल तीरथ तेना तन मारे। वैष्णव जन तो वनलोभीने कपट रहित छे। काम क्रोध निवार्या रे।
वण लोभीने कपट रहित छे। काम क्रोध निवार्या रे। मणि नर सैयो तेनु दर्शन करता। कुल एको तेरे थारा रे। वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीड़ पराई जाने रे। वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीड़ पराई जाने रे। पर दुखी उपकार करे तो ये। पर दुखी उपकार करे तो ये मन अभिमान ना
Hello, everyone. How's it going? And welcome to the 9th day of our 21-day meditation program in August. My name is Timothy, and yeah, welcome back. So today we're going to be moving up to the next chakra. So yesterday we focused on that first chakra, so the Muladhara chakra. And we focused on the quality of innocence, and we explored that a little bit and had a nice meditation. And so today, what we're going to do is we're going to move up to the next chakra. So it's called the Swadisthan Chakra. And in particular, we're going to focus, as I understand in today's meditation, on the right side of the Swadhisthana Chakra. And so this is really where today's title comes into play, the managing our thoughts and managing our attention, and really trying to just bring it all in and focus it towards meditation and towards, a singular line of thought. So instead of, having it everywhere and all over the place, trying to bring it in and trying to center it and settle it down. And so I hope everyone has brought their foot soak, their tub, or their container with water and salt in it, and because a big part of today's meditation will be a clearing process, what we call a foot soak. And so Margaret, our presenter, will go through it in more detail. But yeah, essentially today it's just it's a way to really, I guess you can think of it as almost cooling down our excessive thoughts and our overactivity in the brain, and really trying to just cool it down and bring it down into a really centered place. And so we can have more effective meditations without always having to go through these trains of thoughts in our heads. I'll stop talking in just a minute. Before I hand it over to Margaret, I'd just like to say, if there's anyone who's completely new or and hasn't gone through the realization process, if you would like to just message on the chat that you haven't gone through it yet. And so we'll create a breakout room for you and go through that process with you, just all at our own pace and everything. Just so you can get a bit of a basic understanding of what we've gone through so far. But so without further ado, I'll pass it over to Margaret, and I'll ask her to turn her camera and mic on. And so she'll introduce you to today's topic, and she's going to do the presentation today.
Thank you, Timothy. Good evening, greetings to everyone, far and near. Today we're talking about, as Tim said, the cooling down the thoughts. Are the thoughts controlling us? Are we in control of our thoughts? Just looking at the background of the relationship between our thoughts, meditating, our self-realization. So I have a little bit of a discussion about that. And then the plan is we'll listen to a wonderful talk of Shamashi Nirmala Devi, who founded Saj Yoga and has provided us with all these teachings. And after that, we will go to that practical technique of cooling down the thoughts, of clearing out the centers related to our thinking and our overthinking. The very first thing we'll do today is, we've done this in some of the last presentations, is raise our Kundalini energy and put ourselves into what we call bandhan, or a protection. And then we will do some affirmations to bring our attention inside, quieten down our mind, quieten down our body, and to bring us into preparation for this session. So we can start off as we did previously. We can start with both our hands. So the left hand goes straight up in front of our body, and the right hand, as we've done previously, winds around in a clockwise direction, right up to the top of the head. So we'll start from the base of the spine all the way up. And to tie a knot, one knot. We'll do this 3 times. So on the second time, we will go all the way up, and we will tie 2 knots. And then on the third time, we'll go up, and this time we will tie 3 knots. Then starting with our right hand on the left hip, we're going to bring our hand across like a rainbow, back and back to the start. And we'll do that 7 times for our 7 centers. So balance. So to start today's program, we'll do some affirmations. And this is like when we got our realization. We're going to have our left hand facing upwards on our lap. And with our right hand, we're going to place our right hand on parts of our chakras or our centers on the left side to the top of the head. And then we will just bring ourselves into a quiet meditation. So starting off, we're going to place our right hand on our heart on the left-hand side, and we will do the affirmations for this center. I will guide you through that. When we're finished with that, we'll take our hand up to our neck and shoulder, turning the head a little bit to the right to open the center, and we will do the affirmations for this center. From there, we'll take our hand up to our forehead, just bending the head and placing the hand across the forehead. Hand on the back of the head and tilting our head backwards, and we'll say the affirmations for there. I'll guide you through that. And then the last center, the palm stretched, head bent forward a little bit. And so we're going to put pressure on our scalp. So we're rotating our scalp 7 times slowly. And here we will again ask for the establishment of our self-realization. You can close your eyes. I'll guide you through this, but we're starting this time at the heart. Left hand on the lap, right hand on the heart, on the left-hand side. We just close our eyes, and we can take in some breaths in and out just to relax our body. The affirmation for our heart is, I am the pure spirit. I am not just this body, this mind, these emotions, this job that I have, or this place I have in a family, but I am beyond that. I am the eternal self. I am the spirit. You can just say that in our hearts a few times. I am the spirit. You can say, addressing our Mother Kundalini energy, Mother, by your grace, I am the pure spirit. And take our hand up to our neck and our shoulder on the left-hand side. This center here is the center that gets constricted when we feel guilty or feel bad about ourselves. We feel like we've made a mistake. So we just have to, in this present moment, have to affirm, I am not guilty at all. Past is gone. The future doesn't exist. I am not guilty at all. And say that a few times. I am not guilty at all. It's a part of our human state to make mistakes. We just forget about that so that this center is open and our energy can flow through. I am not guilty at all. Without thinking about anything, any situation. And take our hand up to our forehead, just bending the head a little bit, thumb on one side and forefinger on the other side. And here we can affirm, I forgive everyone. I forgive myself. And again, past is finished now. The future doesn't exist. I forgive everyone. I forgive myself without thinking about any situation. And this is very important so that this center opens and we don't dwell in something that's absolutely unreal at this moment. I forgive myself. I forgive everyone. Taking our hand to the back of our head, tilting our head up, resting the head in the hand. And here again, we can just ask our mothering energy, if I have made any mistakes, knowingly or unknowingly, please forgive me. The last center, our top of our head, our Sahasrara. Take our hand, palm of the hand, on the fontanelle area, which is between the crown and the forehead, and just put a little bit of pressure. So flexing the fingers backwards, we can rotate our scalp slowly clockwise, and we can ask, please let me feel my self-realization. Please let me grow in my self-realization. Please help me establish my self-realization. Keeping the attention above the head where you felt your hand. We'll just sit for a few moments with our attention above our head. If the thoughts come, just let them pass like a train passing, bringing the attention back to that point. You can just sit for a few minutes and listen to some music and have meditation. Well, look at that. When we start to meditate, when we start to try to close off our mind, shut down the thoughts, when we try to be silent, we notice that these thoughts keep coming. So if we look at the chart, this chart, which we were introduced to previously when we had our realization, we can look at the chart, we can look at the center, which is, if you look at that center, has six, the sixth center, it says the center of forgiveness. That's the center where our mental processes, our mind, our mental processes happen. And if you look at the two, the blue and the yellow, the blue is connected to the past, it's connected to our emotions, it's connected to conditionings, which is from the past. And then the yellow is connected to, the yellow line on the right side is connected to the future. It's connected to action, to our mental activity, planning. It's the sun line, the heat in us. So when we're thinking, when we have thoughts, our thoughts are either coming from the past, from our conditionings, or they're coming from the future, our ego, our planning, thinking, activity. And of course, thinking is a very natural, normal part of our human existence. In fact, it is a distinguishing factor between humans and animals. Our thinking process is our higher evolutionary state. But when we talk about meditation, we talk about being thoughtless. So the idea that when our Kundalini, our mothering energy in the base of our spine gets awakened, rises up through this central channel, you can see that central channel between the blue and the yellow, between the past and the future. As it moves through the sixth center, it quietens down our thinking and it brings our awareness or our consciousness beyond the mind, beyond these thoughts, to connect with this energy, this all-pervading energy that's around us. So when the factors of the past and the future, those thoughts, that reality, what we think is reality, is quietened down, we actually come into the present, which is reality. We come into this moment, into the present. We come to the state beyond what we've learned from the past, what we've been conditioned, what we've been experienced, or what we aspire to in the future. And we actually sit in this silence, in this reality. And the connection is the connection of our attention, which is no longer colored by all these past and future, all these conditionings, the attention is purified and it becomes absolutely in this present. And this attention then gives us this connection, this connection with the infinite intelligence, actually. The other aspect to this is when we move beyond this mind, this center, and we try to, and I say try to very deliberately because it's very difficult for us to be thoughtless for a long, sustained period of time. So it's a practice. We have to, as we practice meditation, we have to clear our system, and then we have to use our consciousness to sustain this state of thoughtlessness. So when we do that, when we detach from our thoughts, we can then see them. We can recognize, we can see there might be thoughts that have come from way back in our past. We're not even aware of these thoughts are coming. They're giving us little messages about situations we're in now. But the thoughts are taking us out of this reality to a different time, to a past, which is not real, it's finished. Or the future, I have to do this tomorrow, I have to plan for that. And so it's not actually happening now, but our thoughts are taking us there, taking us out of reality. So That's one aspect. The other aspect to this thinking process, this constant bombardment of thoughts, and again, we need our thoughts. We have to function. Our thoughts and our mental powers help us function, but it's very limited. It's very limited to what we know, what we've learned, what we understand, or what we aspire to. When we're thinking on the physical, the brain is demanding fuel and energy. And if we go down to the center, it's number 2 on that chart. On the right-hand side, this is the Swadisthan center. And on the right-hand side of the center sits the liver. The liver is the seat of attention within us. And when the brain is very actively thinking and planning, or, in another state of emotional, then the liver has to work very hard to produce fuel, and that fuel is glucose. And the liver has to take that fuel from our muscles, from the food we eat, from our blood, has to convert that into glucose for the brain. And this center here, this Swadhisthana center, which has to, on the physical, take care of our pancreas, our spleen, our kidneys, our liver, then gets overheated. The heat can't escape. It cannot, as it normally does, put the heat into the blood to disperse. Then the heat accumulates and it affects all these organs, both above and below this center. So we become very heated, and then, of course, there's more heat in the body, and our thought processes are continue. So for this session, we will look at both that center, the Agnya Chakra, the forgiveness center, the mental center, mental activity center, and we'll also look at this second center on the right-hand side, the Swadhisthana on the right-hand side. And we know the right-hand side, we've had these explanations. The right-hand side is our power of action. And then when that's overactive or out of balance, then it's overactive, it gets hot, and we get very speedy, futuristic. So we will, in the second part of this, we will do a practical cooling down, clearing of this center, and that's where we will look at the techniques. One is foot soaking, and then other techniques. So now what we'd like to do is there's a 30-minute talk where Shamash talks about our thinking and how it is really such an impediment to our understanding of ourselves, to our progress, to our self-realization, and to us being able to grow in our self-realization, in our awareness. So we'll watch that and then come back, and we can talk about the techniques we can use to clear this thinking.
In the West, we have become very speedy, no doubt. And to bring down this speed, we have to use meditative process that we feel our peace within ourselves. Also, the thoughts are bombarding our minds, and we react very fast to others and to these thoughts. So one has to be aware. One has to be knowing what is happening within yourself. That the thoughts are bombarding you. You are trying to ascend, and you find it very difficult. to get rid of the thoughts. The thought process can start by your conditioning or by your ego. Only two problems. And you are the one who is under the challenge. So you have got these simple people in the village who start watching everything, but they do not react. If you do not react, then your thoughts will give up. So the first thing should be to watch yourself that you are not reacting, but you are experiencing and enjoying the silence, the subtleties, the beauty, the glory of your being as well as whatever is around. You don't have to force yourself to break this habit. But just to be on the watch out. It's not necessary to talk too much about it also. Nor it is necessary to think about anything. Because supposing you see a tree, so it's a tree only. What are we going to think about it? And whatever we may think about it, it's going to be the tree. So there's no harm in appearing a little bit stupid, doesn't matter. But this is the basic thing is that when we start analyzing, we are breaking our own nerves and poisoning our own mind and brain. So to watch something without analysis, without thinking about it, is reality. If you can achieve that point where you watch everything without reacting, you are in reality. And then only the penetration into the subtleties of your surroundings, of your relationships, your friendships, the whole universe dawns upon you. So to judge others, to think of others, what they are doing, what's wrong with them, about anything whatsoever you may think is wrong, is not going to be corrected. Like I know some people who are especially bureaucrats, they are traveling, supposing by the car. Then they will say, I think, you see, this road should have gone this way. Or I think it would have been nice if this house was facing the other way. But it's not, you see. It is not going to face. It is going to be the way it is. So what is the use of wasting your brain, your mind, your thought in suggesting something which doesn't work out. And never going to work out either. So when we start like, I think these trees should have been little taller, but they are not. I think that the crows should stop their noise. They will not. So just accept it. Acceptance is the way we are going to enjoy. But acceptance doesn't mean tolerance, because tolerance means you have to work very hard to accept that the trees are of the same height. They can't grow. It's too much for you. When you say, I have to tolerate it, you see, because my mind doesn't accept. So, acceptance as it is, whatever you see, acceptance. And that is how people grow, I have seen, those who start accepting. That's the sign. That's the sign of their strength and their depth, like the propensity of this Mother Earth. She is what she is. And she bears whatever is there. If you put a heavy thing on her, she'll put equal and opposite force and bear it. She doesn't say, I'm tolerating it, I'm exerting any pressure. But she's just accepting. So the witnessing and awareness develops when we start just accepting things as they are. I think doesn't work out. I think it would have been better like this, doesn't work out. Then second problem is I like. Now, I like to eat a cake, but there is no cake. What to do? Now, whatever is there, enjoy it as a cake. But if you go on thinking like that, I like whatever is not here, you can never be happy. As simple as that. You have to say, I like whatever is there. I enjoy whatever is there. Then that's the reality. Whatever doesn't exist, if you like it, so what can anybody do about it? It works out in so many ways, in so many facets in life, that advantage is taken by people because we become so vulnerable to our likes and dislikes that the entrepreneur take over and they create likes and dislikes in our heads and put ideas every day. I've seen it now, how they do it. Through television, through newspaper, through this, that. So then you say, now I like this. But from where this liking has come is the conditioning which is put into your head. So, you are a slave of that conditioning. I only like roses and I don't like any other flower. Well, why? Why you don't like any other flower? And for such things, whatever we have, we miss the joy. So the second part should be that enjoy everything. Why am I here? It's not a very comfortable place by any chance. So why am I here? To enjoy each other, to enjoy your own being. The more divergence you have outside, appealing to your ego and conditioning, the more your mind is busy with that, then you cannot enjoy anything.
We'll just sit quietly again for a few moments and again bring our attention to that place on top of our head, that place beyond the thoughts. And just enjoy some music quietly. Just open our eyes slowly. And now we'll move to the techniques to help with that quietening down our thoughts, cooling down our system. So just a reminder that our realization, our Kundalini awakening, takes us beyond our thoughts into a different consciousness, into a reality, really. And so the aim of meditation, thoughtless awareness, is that we maintain our attention beyond the colors that are painted from our conditionings and from our ego. Without further ado, we'll start with our foot soaking. So we'll just look at the slides. We have some slides that show the technique of foot soaking before we start. If we can see those slides. So the materials we need some sort of a container, shallow and obviously big enough for our feet. We need some salt. You can put a handful of salt into just water. So salt represents the earth element, and water for cooling down this center that we're talking about, the Swadhisthana, the second center. You can have that water as comfortable as you like. Cooler is better, but it really should be comfortable. We need a fresh water container so that we can rinse our feet off when we're finished our foot soaking. And then we need something to dry our feet or to place our feet on, paper towel or a fabric towel. So filling the water again, it can be lukewarm tap water, it can be warmer or it can be cooler according to your own taste. So salt, handful of salt into the water, and make sure it's dissolved nicely before you start. I'm just getting my foot soak bucket ready to put my feet in and my water. Okay. So if whoever wants to participate, you can just sit comfortably, have everything within reach. And we can put our feet in the tub of water. Up to the ankles is good. So what we'll do now is we're going to sit with our feet in the water, but we're going to do some techniques for clearing the that Swadhisthana chakra, cooling down also the right side. So we'll go back to the chakra, and then as we work through it, we can refer to the chakra. I've also got, so the first technique is I've got my feet in the foot soak bucket, salt and the water. The next thing we can look at, and this is not for the faint-hearted, perhaps in the beginning. So you can also, in this center, this right Swadhisthana center, just below the ribs is placed the liver. So what we can do if we have a very overactive liver, we're very, especially at the end of a busy day, we're thinking a lot, we can't quieten our thoughts, we can put an ice pack in this area on the right side. So just find your ribs, that area below the ribs on the right side. So between your sort of ribs and your hip bone. And I'll just show you what I use. I use one of these frozen. So it's like a little juice bottle, or you can use one of these soft ice packs. So place that in that area and sitting up with my feet in the bucket mat. So we're going to start with that area, and we're going to work with our hand. Again, this time we're going to get our left hand. So the left side is the cool side. So we're going to put our left hand across on that right Swadhisthana area. That's the first center. So it's the right side of the belly button. So from just below the ribs down to the hip bone, that area there. Yeah. So you can put your left hand on that area. When you're at home later on and you have an ice pack, you can wrap an ice pack in some fabric or place it, somehow and hold it in that center. Or just for now, we'll put our left hand on that center. And we can ask again, addressing our mother and Kundalini energy, please cool down my liver. Please cool down my right Swadhisthana. Just take a few moments. Okay. So the second technique to add to when we're foot soaking is so again, we're looking at the right side and the left side. The right channel, the power of action, that gets, when it's out of balance, overheated, very active in action. The left side, when that's out of balance, actually gets very cool, cools down. So we're going to now move the energy. We've done this before. We're going to move the energy from the left and bring down the right. So we're bringing up the left side and bringing down the right side, moving that coolness from the left to the right. So with our hands from the left hip, we're going to bring the energy over and down the right channel. So we'll do that a few times. And again, so bring it up. And so the reason that we're this is able to work now is we've had our Kundalini awakening. We are now with our attention and with this connection through our Kundalini awakening, we now can manage this energy. We can direct this energy because we have this connection now. So we're bringing up the left energy and bringing down the right. Please cool down my right channel. Please cool down, take the heat out of my right channel. Okay. And then bring the attention to the top of the head, again, beyond the thoughts. So don't connect with the thoughts, just let them pass. They'll come, they'll go. Keep the attention beyond those thoughts above the head. At this point, you may be aware of sensations in your hands, coolness, heat, tingling. You can be aware, but not thinking about it, meaning that, for example, you're aware that the light is on in the room, but you're not thinking about it. And when you find yourself thinking, when the thoughts are coming, just bring your attention back. To the top of the head, to that point of connection. The next technique we'll use is the right hand, palm upwards on our lap, and the left hand, fingers pointing upwards and palm backwards. And this is another technique we've done previously. So this is channeling the heat out from the left side. We're channeling the heat using the element of ether to channel out the heat. We can ask, oh Mother Kundalini, please take the heat from my right side. Please bring me into balance. With our right hand, we will now, from the base of our spine in the center, we're going to bring our hand up, bring the Kundalini up, using our full attention, our hand as the instrument of our attention, bringing up this Kundalini energy with our attention slowly to the top of our head. We can do that 3 times. And the 3rd time, Placing the hand on top of the head again. Bringing the attention there. So at this point, we can check what we feel on our hands. Do we feel heat? Heat in our right hand, heat in our left hand, tingling on any particular fingers? And at this point, we're not going to look at other centers or look at this connection between what we feel on our hands and the different centers in our body, but it's really about that awareness. And then bringing the attention back to the top of the head. So if you find that the thoughts are persisting, you can even at this point just again affirm, I forgive myself, I forgive everyone, and just forget about anything that's happened or hasn't happened. Just forget about it. And again, just bring that attention beyond those thoughts. Let the thoughts just go. Shamastaji said in her talk, just watch the thoughts. Just watch them without any reaction, any conditioning reaction or any ego reaction. Just let the thoughts go past like a train. We're sitting beyond those thoughts. So we'll just sit for a few moments and maintain that attention above the head, above the thoughts. So as we do this, it's like exercising a muscle. We keep bringing our attention back. We strengthen that attention. We take our attention beyond the thoughts. We separate from our thoughts and maintain that state of reality that Shamastaji described in her talk. Just sit for a few moments. When you're ready, we can open our eyes. Now we're going to finish our foot soak so we can get our container, clean water. And I have a towel and we rinse off one foot at a time, just rinse off and put onto the your towel. Place your feet on there. So normally when you're at home doing this exercise, using this technique, you then place that water down the toilet usually and just rinse that container. The container is only used for foot soaking. We're drawing out the heat and out of our body. So we only use that for this purpose of foot soaking. We discard the water and rinse it. For now, we'll just wait until we're finished the session. So to finish off our session, we always raise our Kundalini again, our hands being the instrument of our attention, moving the energy and putting on our protection. So we'll do that together now. Left hand moves straight up, the right hand rotates around in a clockwise direction, right up to the top of the head. 1 knot. We do it 3 times. The second time we do it slowly. And we do 2 knots. And then on the 3rd time, we'll bring our hand up, We'll do 3 knots. We take our right hand from our left hip, we'll bring it across to the right side and then back. And that's 1. And we do that 7 times for the 7 centers. Then we bring our hands together in a namaskar, the balance between the left and the right. Thank you, everyone. That concludes our session for today. I hope you've taken something from that and learned something and are able to use some of those techniques. I know that foot soaking the slides are in the resources. So we'll finish now and I'll hand you back to Timothy. Thank you very much. And it's been really nice to have this opportunity to present. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Margaret, for that amazing meditation and for the foot soaking as well. Yeah, something like the right Swadhisthana to focus on in a session is quite good because it's very applicable to I'm sure most people's everyday lives, especially in the kind of society we live in where everyone's like working very, very long hours and very hectic schedules. And it's nice, you know, to come home and to be able to just calm down and relax and everything. And something like foot soaking is nice to do in these sessions because it really gives us like a practical process of cooling down that right Swadhisthana and that thinking process, and just bringing us inside a lot quicker and a lot easier. So yeah, thank you so much for that. I hope everyone enjoyed the session. So what I'll do actually is I'll just quickly share my screen, and I'm just going to go through the resources page. So so as you can see, I'm just on the freemeditation.com.au website, and all I've done is gone on to, if you go to the menu bar and you go on streaming, and then go down to August 2022 course. So that's what I'm on right now. And so here you can find the Zoom link to actually watch, to actually join the meetings, and then the YouTube link to see the videos. If we go all the way down here, we have all 3 weeks. And if you've missed any sessions or you'd like to go through them again, you can just click on them and there's the YouTube video there. And yes, and so if we scroll a bit, if we scroll just a bit more down there, we've got additional resources. So these are just basics in Saj Yoga, and just a few guides over here, and like chakra charts and everything like that. So quite a nice, useful website. So thanks again, Margaret, for that foot soak and that meditation session. Thank you all for coming, and I hope you all enjoyed. I will, if you have any questions or you'd like to share your experience at all, I'll stay back here just for a few more moments. Otherwise, the chat is always available. So if you have any questions or anything you'd like to share, you can just type it in on the WhatsApp group, and myself or Margaret or a number of other experienced Saj Yoga practitioners will come and assist you. With that, thank you all for coming, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next session. Goodbye, everyone.
Namaha.